All right, I have a question for you. Welcome back. All right. So I always say why at the beginning. Yeah, I do. Welcome back. I have a question for you. It's a very simple question. I think it goes for everybody. I want to know your opinions, ladies. Okay, I want to know your opinions, but gentlemen, I want to know your opinions. Wife, mom, baby mama, or daughter, who comes first for a man? Let's listen to this two young couple. See what they have to say.
Who comes first in a man's life?
So wife, mom, baby mama, and daughter.
Wife. Sorry. Gotta be the wife.
She is the wife.
Who comes first?
The wife has to come first.
The
wife has to come first.
What if you have a child now?
With her or without her? Or like
y'all got a child together. Who comes first?
Wife. I'm the one that's gonna be with you all of your life.
I gotta say wife. I believe that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Cool.
the children are gonna grow up and move on and have their own family.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point. A lot of men do say that.
Yeah.
That's a great point. They said a lot of relationships don't work after the child leaves the house because of that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. All
right, so it's a very common question, but as common as I feel that question has been, a lot of people still get it wrong. Let me read some of this comments here. Say, still waiting for bro to give his answer. Wait, they don't believe the answer he gave. You know, in the if you remember over the past few years, there's the Akimi story that went viral, the fake story, okay? Because then that got debunked, but of course the story already went viral. So everybody always quote Akimi, the footballer, right? That he filed for divorce and the wife tried to get some money from him, and before you know it, they found out that all of his fortune is under his mother's name. And people actually run with it and believe that. You can tell all those people have never really set up a corporation ever before. Obviously, right? Like, if you have such a level of fortune, how could you possibly put it under your mother's name? And just like that, it just doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's unlikely, right? But anyway, they debunked it. But it's like when people say Stockholm syndrome. The actual Stockholm story, I read somewhere that it never existed, but we say Stockholm syndrome to say people are stuck in an abusive relationship, right? And it is what it is. Sometimes when a lie goes long enough, it becomes the truth. Okay. So why am I saying all of that? This question here, as much as I think everybody have asked the question, we had a question of like, what if we've had a question of where somebody said, what if your mother wants to sit in front of the car and your wife also wanted to ride shotgun? Excuse me. What do you do? Right? How do you address that? Should the wife sit in front or mother should sit in front? All these kind of questions that measure that kind of test priorities. That's what it comes down to. See, as a leader in life, you will be presented with so many options sometimes, and there's no such thing as 100% on one side or the other. You have to sometimes prioritize. That's life. That's any systems. That's any society, right? Anybody that has ever been a leader of any type, they know that they've gotten to a point where options are not always clear. You have to prioritize, and sometimes you prioritize based off of, again, short-sighted behavior, right, versus long-sighted behavior. If you're short-sighted, the first thing that might come to your mind, if you've never used your mind, if you're myopic in your way of thinking, the first thing that will come to your mind are my mother. You know, I guess that would also be a function of culture, because some people's culture, depending on the culture you come from, you might think about that. But hey, let's think about context. Where in this time and age, in these modern times that we live in right now, and like they said, a lot of people, they become empty nester, and they find out for the first time they haven't been friends for like 25 years. They haven't even kissed on the lip, and they're supposed to be husband and wife. Nigerian couples, I'm talking to you. For so long, right? So what happens by the time they get to that space? Somebody starts to fantasize like, hey, I want love too. I want connection. It's a basic human need. I want connection. Yes, a romantic connection. You know, and that becomes a problem. So now, you know, if you're still young enough, you're looking at the rest of your life, you're like, no, there's no way I'm spending the rest of my life like this. So of course, we find a lot of people go their separate way. People file for divorce 35 years into a marriage. People will file for divorce 40 years, yes, 25 years. We're seeing some of those. Why? Because they haven't been friends for so long. They're disconnected, and it's so awkward trying to revive it. It's been dead for so long. It's such an awkward thing to try to revive that. Why? Because they kept making the daughter first, kept prioritizing their children, right? They kept prioritizing everything else but the person that you signed up to spend the rest of your life with. These are the issues. But let me read some of this comment. Say, how about letting him answer without our input and see if it's the same answer? Laugh my ass out. That's funny, but I think I've seen them on a TV show before. I think they're a solid couple. I think he would. It's a Nigerian guy too. I don't remember their name, so don't ask me. I think you would answer no, but they're right. Some men will probably straight up tell you like, no, my mom come first. As you can see here, somebody said mom come first. Okay. Somebody said, mom come first. As trivial as that sounds, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. And it has nothing to do with the fact that if mom is important or not. Of course, mom is important. Mom is queen mother. Of course, she's important, right? But whenever you bring marriage into that equation, your spouse must come first. If you're in a situation where your spouse doesn't come first, I'm so sorry. And I'm so sorry because honestly, I don't know your story too, and I can't speak too much to what the future may hold. But I'm so sorry because I know how dangerous that is. Okay. Husband and I have decided differently for ourselves. Our daughter comes first until she can care for herself. That's actually some fake nonsense. I've seen people do that too before. Oh, we decide. See, the person's trying to excuse it. And wrap it up and envelope it into some weird. No, there's some things. Although I wouldn't hold a woman so much to that, because that husband should not have agreed to something like that. Obviously, you're following his lead and he doesn't know what he's doing. It is dangerous. You must come first because the children will manipulate that as well. A house divided against itself cannot stand. This is an extreme. It's an extreme when it comes to marriages. It's an extreme. It has to be, but you don't want to what? No, it's an extreme ideology that you must hold dear. If you're in that space where you have a husband who is agreeing with you to put your daughters or your children first, ooh, ouch, and you're the one loud about it on the internet, it's dangerous. Okay, I would just be careful. Hey, go be careful. Now express you they go. But let me know what your thoughts are about this. Let me know what you think about it. Your opinions are welcome. Okay, I just want to drop it there just in case you might decide that that's another angle to look at it. That's all I'm doing. Okay, your opinion matters. Okay, so feel free to drop it. But wife, mom, baby moms, baby pops, daughter, who comes first for a single man? Now there's a slight exception here that we can have that conversation. I don't think it's a real exception, but what if you're a single mother and your children? Should you pick your new spouse over? That's a question. That's a wild question. I know. Let's leave it at that. I want to know what you think about that. Anyway, first of all, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I'll be right back with some other trendy stories around the world. This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag, yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.